Hey, very good evening, everyone. Welcome to DevOps training. So we have waited for a few minutes. I think we can get it started, by the way. Let's go ahead. And so to start with, uh, let's set some agenda, by the way, for today. The session is going to be really quick about introduction, like what is our view on DevOps, by the way, especially. And based on, and with, following to that, by the way, so we are going to deal with what are the things that you are going to learn and why are you learning those particular things, why are not other things. So that particular context also will try to gain it. And finally, if you have any QAs, by the way, so we will try to talk about that as well. Okay, so this is the next maybe 30 to 40 minutes of next few minutes agenda. And until then, please maybe just bear with me, by the way. So I'll try to just complete my version of the things and in those few minutes, and then probably if you have any question, we can leisurely discuss, by the way. And yeah, so let's get it started. So once again, very good evening, everyone. Welcome to join DevOps.com DevOps training, by the way. And myself is Raghu, and I'm the trainer for this particular sessions. And I've been working in engineering world for past 15 years. I have been, been in the sense like started my career as an engineer itself, and so been in that particular engineer area for quite some time. All the time, and almost like I have 13 years of experience in teaching, by the way. So teach different technologies, by the way. From past almost 9 years, I've been doing the DevOps related things only. Okay, and that's about me, and also my experience. And I'm also a working guy, by the way. So this is just the part time we do kind of a thing. Right, kind of a thing. Do the things, by the way. And I'm a full-time employee, by the way, which is mostly my experience is into fintech, uh, the mostly into the banking and financial sector, and also that to be on the enterprise scale, by the way. Okay, and I hope that experience really matters, by the way. So when I actually deliver the things, because at a scale the things are going to be different. So that projection, okay, maybe this experience really helps you in understanding the things in a bit better way. Okay, that was the idea. So that's all about my side. So I think let's get on to the agenda, by the way. So the first point of agenda we want to talk about is, hey, what are the things that, so we talk about, that's fine, by the way. So the DevOps is something that we talk about, which is fine. But first, let's come from an area where we get the job, by the way. Okay, I'm getting a salary. So that means there is some job involved there, right? So who is giving me this job, by the way? So first we need to understand that particular thing, right? So there is certain market, there's a business, and that business is generating some revenue, and I will be getting some revenue on top of that. So who is giving me here, or who is giving me the job, who is generating the revenue, and who is giving me the job, right? So that's what we need to understand. And so we are going to talk about the major wing that provides a job over here is which is called as SDLC, a software development lifecycle process in the organizations, which will provide us a job of, for us, by the way, especially. Okay, and how are these guys actually providing, or how in the sense like why these guys are actually providing jobs to us? Okay, what is their requirement, by the way? Okay, and what do you do, maybe, right? So if we try to understand that particular one, so we need to talk about, okay, fine, so this is the business, but what do we do, by the way? So we deal with web-based applications. So today trend is all about the web-based applications, right? So you're not installing anything in your local system. Everything is coming by mobile application, desktop browser, by the way. Either you're opening the desktop browser or it's mostly coming on the a mobile-based application, right? So end of the day, both we consider as web-based applications only. Behind the scene, it is same. It's only the presentation layer will be different, like a browser presentation layer versus the mobile presentation layer. Only the presentation layer changes, but however, beneath the scene, rest everything is same, right? So that's how it is, and it is a web-based application. So today, everyone is running behind the web, right? So today everyone want to go onto the web and deal with web-based applications. especially we talk about maybe even a legacy products also. For an example, you take you take any legacy products like maybe Microsoft Office, okay, which I usually talk about, by the way. So Microsoft Office, when you go with, and I know Microsoft Office that you need to purchase that Microsoft Office, or we need to have a, or we need to have a, we used to have a CD DVD kind of a thing, and from there we evolved into, uh, so from there we evolved into, like, so today it is coming completely over the web. Office365.com is completely a web-based thing, right? So today that is the trend, by the way. And even that further went on, and today Microsoft is offering Windows 365, right? So that means they're providing Windows itself on the browser. Okay, so I'm not sure how many of you had heard about this, but Windows 365. Okay, so this is the one I'm talking about. So Windows 365 is, basically like, Windows PC on the browser. So to that extent, okay, the web-based applications has been moved on to the, I mean, running their business, by the way. So everyone is running towards to this. And while we talk about these particular things, so a clear context that we need to get it, that the things are going to be at a scale, the things are going to be very huge, by the way. Okay. And that is where we would like to talk about some of the well-known applications that we are quite aware that we use in our day-to-day life as well. And so you need to understand these guys, so the things that they are at a scale, by the way. So meaning, now, if you see, by the way, if you know the Netflix, by the way, if you are using Netflix web page, and um, if you're learning, sorry, if you are watching Netflix, by the way, as a web page, you can see that, you can understand that, so how many services that Netflix will be using to power up the, your Netflix web page is basically the telling 1,000 microservices. Maybe different business reasons altogether, by the way. So maybe like a retail to everything to the internal business together. Maybe whatever it is, they're telling a number which is 1,000 microservices. And this is quite old also, I think, this screenshot. But still, 1,000 is a big, huge number, by the way, right? So it's not like quite simple, by the way, right? And so this is very important understanding you need to have. And also the Twitter, that now it is X, by the way. So now they're having like 1,200 microservices, and total, by the way. So there are 40 of them is very critical that mentioning, and I think almost like, uh, so they mentioned that 200 plus services, so which will give you the landing page itself of Twitter. Okay, when you log in and you see the first page of the Twitter itself, there's almost 200 services they'll be running behind the scene, by the way. Okay. Also the Uber, by the way, so which we know, very old, good tech. Uber, even recently they have released some of the screenshot, some of the tech details from the Uber. Maybe I need to collect them. But otherwise, I mean, the services wise, it is even bigger, by the way. So Uber is massive, and it is, almost telling like they run 2,200 critical microservices for their project, by the way, right? Also, maybe you may heard about the Kubernetes cluster, or Kubernetes as a word, by the way. At least every one of you, I'm sure that you heard about this particular word. And now this word is actually telling, if you see, they're telling like, how many services that Mercedes-Benz we have, by the way. So they are running 900 Kubernetes clusters. Okay, so I think this is even the quite less number, I would say, like, so this is at just the a phase of transforming their business into from server to container world. I think, so 900 is still a less number for a business like Bench, by the way. Okay, but you think I understand, by the way. Okay, and so it is massive. Okay, so even for me, I got a chance to work with a large cluster of only 42 cluster environment, by the way. But 900 is even huge for me actually to adopt and digest as well, right? So it's huge. Okay. So that is where things are going to be a bit bigger. That's what we need to understand. Um, that is very important. So that means you are learning, by the way. So maybe Okay, let's park this particular point and we'll talk about this particular point. Why are we stressing, okay, these microservices at a scale is very important, and that how does it matter really to you? We'll talk about that just in a while. So let's understand. So what are the web applications we deal with? So these are massive when you actually go at an enterprise scale. Okay. So that's what we need to, we need to understand. Okay, fine. We understand the business. Okay, where I'm getting the job, what kind of business we're doing. Okay, fine. And how big it is, I understood. Fine. Then what next? Now, okay. So, so when actually, if you go to the development, by the way, so the SDLC, now these massive projects, how they used to develop, by the way, they used to develop by using a more methodologies, by the way. Okay, so these are waterfall methodology or agile or a scrum fall methodology, we call it up. So whatever it is. And these methodologies is going to help us, the product development team, to develop the products and reach their goals, by the way. Now it's mostly agile, no doubt in that. And but however, in order to understand the process of DevOps, where actually it is coming from, let's try to understand so what the people used to do in the waterfall model. Okay, then it will help us in understanding the things. Okay, waterfall model, the name itself will tell you, it always comes from top to down process. Okay, and in this particular process, by the way, there are different teams that generally works here. So I'm picking up the team who are in action, by the way. There may be other team members like who are into from ownership kind of a thing, like maybe a project manager or a product owner or some other people. Maybe I'm just ignoring them. So I'm just purely talking about the people who works in action, and this especially starts with a business analyst. Okay, every domain will have a domain expertise business analyst, and so they understand more of the business context and convert that into a uh, they convert that into a development activity kind of a thing. So that is their job. All right. So they convert that particular requirement into a thing that developer can work and develop, by the way. And that's where the next thing comes into picture is developers. But also you have generally the architects will be there. So who is the senior people in that particular team, mostly like SMEs, subject matter experts, and things like that. But however, you also have, not however, basically you will be generally having a senior people who actually, design the things and, so kind of govern the things in the team, by the way. So those particular team I'm talking about, or persons I'm talking about, not particularly, you don't consider that as a separate team. Let's consider that as a separate role, by the way. Okay, so he is acting that role. Just understand that way. He may be a developer or he may be an engineer with a senior experience. That's what it is. And after that, the developer will come into picture to develop the things, and a QA people will be there for testing, making that testing. Okay, that is how it is going to be. And finally, you're going to have is an operations team who is going to develop the product. Okay, operations team who is going to run this web application. Okay, so that's where there is a middleware team. We're talking about the waterfall model. That means a decade back or even before to that tech. Okay, how people used to do that, and maybe still it is happening in some of the legacy organizations with the legacy applications. What they are using still, it is still applicable. And so that's where let's understand what is this middleware team do. Now I'm hosting an application. Okay, now there is a team to host that application in some server. Okay, and manage them. That is a middleware team. Okay, and after that, this middleware team is running something on the operating system, and that means there's an operating system need and there's an OS admins will come into picture. Operating system team, OS team will come into picture. And the next one is, so this application might generate some lot of data. That means you require a storage team to store the data. And the data mostly will be in a format of database, sometimes or most of the times. And that is a database engineer will come into picture. DBA will come into picture. Now this data backup and all is very important. And that's where the backup team come into picture, who work on exclusively on the backups. And there's a lot of teams which is, there's a lot of infra now involved over here. and there's a team come into picture to connect all these particular things, which is a network team. So who these guys will take care of firewalls, okay, security, all those particular aspects, okay, and network team will come into picture, and these all running inside the data center. A data center team will come into picture, okay, and this is a web application you're running, and the security aspect of this particular application is very, very important, and it falls as okay, so it falls into a separate team, which is AppSec or InfoSec. Generally, we call it as security team will come into picture. And along with that, so this is a web application. The trends in the web application is very important. How is it behaving, and um, how is it performing, any issues that any user is facing, and things like that. So mostly like tech side, you'll be having a analyst roles or monitoring roles, L1 roles will be there, who does quite monitoring there, and who does the monitoring, and so kind of just let the next level team know that, hey, there is something wrong or something like that, right? So this is what is the general, high level team that involves in the waterfall model in making a product. And so this is how it is. And now where is the change coming into picture, and where is this uh, the DevOps process, or DevOps as a role, or DevOps as a process, where is it coming from? Okay, so that is actually coming in the team structure in the agile, especially. Now when you go with the agile, so rest of the persons are still doing their job. While they're doing the job, and especially the infrastructure team who is actually doing all these particular activities, now okay, now has been emerged into okay, so now has been emerged into a team. And so to run certain process is called as a DevOps. Okay, so DevOps as a process, by the way, so which makes sure the developer, okay, release the product, or developer development things we release to the customer in a much effective way. Previously, the middleware OS team, all these teams together is trying to do the job, by the way, and they are doing their job, and maybe the products are getting released. And okay, now that particular one is being evolved into certain new process, and a person who is actually running that particular process, it's mostly the guy is called as a DevOps engineer. Okay, so here I know everyone have their own view on what is DevOps, what is DevOps engineer, and all. Let it be that way, but okay, so let's understand our story here. So this is how it is actually coming up into a picture, by the way. Okay, so but the guy who is actually running that particular whole process of the middleware, and he take care of end to end of the infrastructure related things to release the product, it's basically okay, you can consider that is the engineer guy who is working on. And also he evolves in certain process, by the way, so which is DevOps practices, which is again modern, which is coming modern in agile. And he's the guy who is mostly going to align to that particular one. Like when you specifically talk as a DevOps, it's not only applicable to this engineer, that it applies even to the developer also. Like he has to develop the things that mostly goes in a DevOps way, right? So it's not like this guy mostly runs the things. Okay, so on the infra perspective, and and the process as well, majorly that's where he becomes as a DevOps engineer. And so what I mean, just thinking about uh, I mean, thinking like, so thinking in a perspective, like, whether this guy can do that many jobs, we need to understand that as well, right? And in order to understand that, so we need to understand that the tech evolution actually happening in the market, it almost happened in the market kind of a thing, is okay, that there's a cloud services which has been evolved, and companies are going towards the cloud kind of a thing, right? And that is where we are. Okay, so if we understand, by the way, most of these particular things has been owned by cloud, by the way. Okay, when it is a cloud, it is a shared responsibility. It's not like completely you kind of deal with the things. And yes, and you can able to manage the things. So now the same verticals, whatever we talked about, middleware used to be earlier, it used to be a monolith, very big applications. Now it is all microservices. Okay. So, and a single person kind of a thing. When it is a single person, by the way, it's not a single person, especially instead of multiple teams, now a group of people is doing that, right? And they are called a single team. And it's all middleware, microservices. It is easier to manage. Now, when it's an operating system, you don't have to bother about it, because Hey, really sorry, guys. Uh, I don't know the reason. Like, it got ended very badly, and yeah. So let's get it continued. By the way, so we were discussing about like why these or how these particular people can why these particular people can or how this particular sorry not why by the way how these particular people can actually able to manage those many works. And we were discussing about the cloud related things, right? So our the OS things has been replaced by the cloud vendor. By the way, the cloud is going to take care, the cloud services is going to take care, uh, the cloud team is actually going to take care of this, cloud team in the sense like cloud vendor itself. He'll take care of operating system, storage, cloud vendor, backups, cloud vendor, network, cloud vendor, the data center, no data center, it's cloud. Okay. And some of the DBS, not everything, I would say, some of the it's again shared responsibility, as I mentioned. So some of the DB activities is also is by the cloud services. And AppSec is still I mean, still be as AppSec kind of a thing. Okay. So this is what is, the evolution happened in the market kind of a thing. And, and the next, and the next over here is, okay. So which is left over is some of the middleware work and the cloud work and the AppSec work and some part of the DBA. If you try to understand these particular things, so we'll be able to become a DevOps engineer. So that's where other DevOps engineer basically is going to deal with the microservices that is dealing in the cloud. And if security is also falling under his role under the process of DevOps of releasing the product, by the way, and if security is also be discussed, then it is going to be a DevSecOps engineer kind of a thing. Okay. And over here, so we mostly go into a DevSecOps engineer training kind of a training in our session as well. But yeah, that is a DevSecOps engineer is what we I mean, call it up, by the way. Okay, DevSecOps or DevOps. It's just the security falling into the process of releasing your product, by the way. So earlier it used to be a different entity altogether. Now those guys also coming into the process over here. So that's what is a major one. And the next one over here is so that I mean that covers the second point of agenda of today's session, like where this DevOps is coming from. And if you look into the market, by the way, so how is the DevOps market? Maybe the down four snippets has been actually taken from a couple of years or couple of an year back or something like that, couple of months back. But this one today only I have taken it. So which is, maybe you can also type it in market, by the way, how is DevOps market, by the way. So you kind of see it, by the way. It's anticipated to grow, but overall market is not good. That is not applicable only to DevOps kind of a thing. But however, okay, so if you're just looking at the overall market analysis on DevOps, it's still the positive side. It is on the growth perspective, by the way. On a long term, maybe like by 2028 or something like that, right? So not immediate this year or maybe this month, something like that, right? So that is okay. That is what is is anticipated in the market, by the way. And the next towards here is now, okay, let's try to understand our roles and responsibilities of the DevOps engineer. The roles and responsibilities are um, so you need to ensure the code given by the developer, which is developed by the developer, and gets to the end user in a much efficient way, in a much efficient way. So that is what is uh, the role of a DevOps engineer. And after that, once it goes there, even you need to ensure that you take care of you just take care of all the things running very well, by the way. It's not like I released it, my job is done kind of a thing. You need to ensure that things are happening very well on the live application, and the end users when they're accessing the web applications, by the way, you should always ensure that things are happening well, and also release the software without any issues kind of a thing. So that is what is the ultimate goal of a DevOps engineer or the process perspective, by the way. And as an engineer, we need to get onto this. All right. So the next one, which is going to come here is, which is the third part of the agenda for today's session, which is what to learn or what are you learning here. Okay. By the way, so this has been a problem for me as well for some time. By the way, like what to teach, right? So maybe from your side, there's a confusion that what to learn, right? And also at the same time, so there is something that I also get into a problem generally, like what to teach. So this is something, by the way. So that's where roadmap.sh. So this is a website which is going to help us, by the way, both you and me, like in helping in understanding so where the market is going on. And there's a community, by the way, so which is going to help us, the different people, not only DevOps, by the way, so they help different roadmaps. Now, if you go down, so you will see that it is actually GitHub sixth most starred project in GitHub as of now. Okay, on the number of likes on the project. So this is the most starred project, sixth most starred project in the GitHub, by the way. Okay, and it's a big community, by the way. So who suggests the things on different things? So they provide roadmap for different things if you want to become something, and out of that, the DevOps is one of that. All right. So this is the roadmap that these guys are providing, and different verticals they are covering. Okay. So what they will tell is, okay, so they'll tell a personal opinion that, from the people with their experience, they will tell something from their personal opinion. And also they'll tell like there is so what is the alternate option if you're not going with the personal opinion. Okay. So what is an alternate option? So like basically the preference from these guys mostly comes in a purple color for each and every component. Okay. So or each and every vertical. And so these are all the different verticals they're covering. So the yellow color you can see is basically um, the vertical which um, okay, in each and every vertical. So there is an yellow color, and inside that there is some preference, by the way. Now we also structure the our roadmap according to this, aligning to this, picking up so something from here, the purple colors from here. Sometimes it may be a single purple color. Sometimes it may be a two options will pick it up. So and then we constructed our course here. So that is what we have done. All right. Now we cover each and every vertical, by the way. So now if you go with the programming language, we teach you Python. And if you go with the operating system, so we teach you RHEL. And if you go to the live terminal, so these are all the OS related topics, we'll cover them. And also in the scripting, by the way, so there is a bash scripting we'll cover. And the editor also, so here the VI editor will cover in that as a part of Linux learning, by the way. Okay. And the next is you come to the version control systems. We cover with the Git, and the VCS hosting, we go with the GitHub only. Okay. And so these are all the concepts of the application. We'll talk about that, and with the help of Nginx, by the way, a reverse proxy, forward proxy, firewall. Okay. How do you do caching, load balancing? All these particular things will be covered as a part of the application. The project is there. Project is there as a part of the training. So as a part of that, we're going to cover this. And finally, we're going to have the containers, by the way, in the down section. So here you are going to have containers. We're going to learn Docker, and then cloud providers. We're going to have is the cloud provider we are going to learn is AWS. And again, the networking concepts. So you will learn, these are all the concepts. These are all must, by the way. You'll learn it, the protocols and all. And the next one is again coming to the serverless, by the way. So we'll deal with Lambda functions along with Python. You'll deal with this, and you'll understand the serverless things, how it works and all. And the infrastructure provisioning, Terraform, you will learn here in our syllabus. And configuration management, you will learn Ansible. And CI/CD tools, you will learn our CI, by the way. So especially the CI tools here, which is the Jenkins we will cover, and GitHub Actions. So these are the two things we are actually teaching as a part of this particular training. And there is a secret management. So secret management, we are actually not going with the vault. Maybe we can go with the vault also, not an issue. Let's pick it up as vault only. So we just want to go mostly aligned with this particular guy only. All right. So the vault as a tool that we want to cover. And the next one is infrastructure monitoring, and it is going to be Prometheus and Grafana. So we'll cover these two things. And application monitoring, we'll go with the New Relic, teach you New Relic here. And in the logs management, we'll teach you Elastic Stack. And then and the container orchestration, teach you Kubernetes. And artifact management will teach you Artifactory. And so next, coming to the GitOps, we teach with Argo CD. And along with that, there is one more tool also will be there, which is Go CD. Okay. So because Argo CD is Kubernetes native, and that works only for Kubernetes, by the way, but your company may not be ready for everything on Kubernetes. There may be some applications still running on the server still. Okay. Now your tool has to support that as well. So that's where there's another tool which will come here, which is Argo CD. And you learn the service mesh, which is Istio, and some sort of a patterns um, in the cloud, and generally the design patterns like architectural things. We'll talk about that. So this is what is our syllabus, and we're going to learn those particular things by picking up, so something from a particular vertical, and we're teaching those particular things. Right? Some may be concepts. We'll cover every vertical, but generally. So that's where the syllabus, whatever at least whatever we're teaching, is mostly like so I can consider that so we're covering all the verticals of what is a DevOps engineer will be having. So we are just taking care of every aspect, by the way. Okay, so that is a quite important thing, right? And finally comes to the the things that you're going to get as a part of this particular training. You're going to get the GitHub discussions, by the way. So you're going to get you're going to be getting a GitHub discussion. You can post your question, like it's more in a real time way, right? So you kind of a thread, it will happen, like so the discussion can happen, that if you have any issues on the lab while you're doing that. And also along with that, so now let's say you don't want to go to the discussion at all, you want to be so speaking directly with us, and you want to clear the question, by the way. So then you have a lab query session. We almost run 8 hours a day, uh, overlapping every different time zone, by the way. 8 hours a day, we're going to have a continuous session. At any point of time, if you have a question, you can join that session. You can directly even talk even after the session while you're practicing. You have any question, you got any confusion, you got any problem, kind of a thing, you can get solved that in that particular lab session. Every day, apart from 1.5 hour training session, you'll be having another 8 hours of the session which runs, and is optional, that you need to be mandatory there. But if you have any question, you can always join and get your question dropped, and you can drop from there. Okay, so that's about the lab query session. And the also we provide is a customized some lab setup in Amazon, by the way. So that will take care as a part of training. No worries on that. Nothing much too much to highlight, but yeah, we'll take care of some customized lab. I mean, we'll provide some customization from our side, which will elevate your learning, by the way, in much more effective way. And the next one we have is we are going to cover some big project. And I was talking about microservices at a scale at the starting, right? So I talked about how Uber is running, how Netflix is running, okay, how big the things are. So now the project, actually what we're going to go for here is we're going to have 11 microservices. So total we are having 11 microservices there. And we're going to cover two projects. So one project, actually we're going to start with 3 number, because for a beginner, okay, so maybe some of you are learning for the first time, it may be difficult for you to start with 11 things itself. Okay, so that's where we'll start with a small project in the first iteration. On the second iteration, we go with the actual big project, and that big project is the one which will help you, even take you to that project, even to your resume as well. It's an IBM project, which is an open source project, which is available in their GitHub page. We'll take it up. So they use it for pre-sales, to sell their products, by the way, some of the product. And we just take that particular one, and we kind of deliver that particular product as a part of the training. The same tech stack can be imported into your resume as well. Okay, so that is how it is. And finally, the videos you're going to get after that, after the session, you're going to get a video, and it's going to be an year access. You are going to get it. And so it can be extended, by the way, so based on your requirement, so maybe we can extend it as well. So but 1 year is something upfront you're going to get it, right? And the next one is we'll help you with some sort of so getting into the market by the way. So some sort of resume prep, and if you want some mock kind of a thing that you want to evaluate. But first iteration is always about the technical things. First we'll evaluate all the so your technical hands-on, then we'll get onto the verbal approach of the mock by the way. Okay, so that is where it is. And so we'll help you with those particular interview related things as well as a part of the training. And that would be all from my side for today. And if you have any questions, please go ahead. Otherwise, I'm really sorry today. I don't know, unfortunately, how that session has been um, ended by the way. So it's surprise. Um, and otherwise, it is going to be same. So you're going to use the same link to join the next session as well. So here, everything you are having over here in the same link, joindevops.com. So however you join today, the same way you join the session again. So you'll be able to, join the session. At least we'll ensure, at least from the session, this will not happen. Okay. And yeah, so that's about something. And if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand and you can talk. Yeah, I see some hands.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi, this is Prakhar speaking.
yeah,
I joined your session, but somehow I got disconnected. I'm not sure whether it was a problem at your end or my end.
yeah, it was my
So,
end. Really sorry for that.
yeah, I joined just now, but I think you are already completed. So,
We'll
is
send
there
you the
an
recording. That's okay. But if you have any question, at least I'm here. No problem. We'll talk. We can go ahead.
nothing? I just wanted to because before coming to means I have to be frank, I have attended many demo sessions
Mhm.
before coming to your and I just wanted to know how you are differentiating yourself. Like in the market, we have other uh, uh, coaching centers or other websites, online training programs. So how you are differentiating yourself from them? Like for example, I have Edureka contents I have seen they are explaining a lot of things,
Yeah,
and I have seen yours as well.
correct.
So
Got it.
in terms of that, like the training material, course material, and everything, how you are differentiating yourself with them? If you can answer that thing.
So one thing I think you are not there, maybe by the way. So the syllabus I have been explaining by the way. So we are actually taking the syllabus from roadmap.sh. Okay. So now there's a big question by the way. You're a learner, right? So and you have
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that what are the tools that you need to learn by the way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like some names you mentioned, so some institute names. So while they're teaching it, so they kept some syllabus in their in their content by the way, right? So I mean, first you are coming from a nowhere. You need to know that what are the things that you need to learn by the way. It's a big question mark
Mm-hmm.
because I give
Right.
something, they give something, right? Now that
Mm,
should be a common thing that which can help you. It's not me, it's not theirs, but some people who is who is good enough can tell you like, hey, learn these particular things, right? So
mm,
that's where this roadmap.sh will come into picture. Okay, this is a website. Okay,
okay.
this is a website by the way, so which is not neither owned by me or someone. It's a
Mm,
community by the way. Okay, it's started by a person, but again it's a community. So it's a
mm,
roadmap.sh is a, if you know GitHub by the way, the number of projects hosted on GitHub, it is sixth most starred project in the number of likes by the way. Okay,
mm.
okay, so these
So you
guys,
are following this roadmap only.
right now they cover the verticals, and it's not only that they'll give you just the DevOps by the way, they give you many roadmaps. For many people, it's a guideline. Okay.
Mm,
Now, DevOps is one of that. Now, what you need to do is, okay, you need to understand. So, is everyone teaching you the every vertical, by the way, here? Now, what is here is every vertical is here is every yellow color, whatever you see over here is a vertical
mm,
of a certain work, by the way, you do. Now you consider that everyone is actually teaching all the verticals, and at least I am actually inspiring from here. I'm taking every vertical, and in the
Mm,
every vertical they'll give you a couple of options, few options. Out of them, they'll give you a preference as well from the
mm,
community. Okay, and that's where we'll simply cherry pick here, and we formed a syllabus, and we're teaching all the verticals whatever we have here. Unless until you cover all these verticals, you never say that you are a DevOps engineer. Now you go and compare the syllabus, where either with
mm,
ours or anyone's, whatever you're asking, whether they are
mhm,
covering all the verticals, what is mentioned over here. And if anything which is greater than whatever we are offering, definitely you can opt for that. No doubt in that.
mhm. Okay, so you are referring this and you're covering everything mentioned here, right?
Right.
Okay, and this what programming language you are going to cover, like Python or
Python.
Python? Okay, so this will be 3.5 months course, right?
Correct.
What would be the timings?
It will be 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time.
7:30 to 9, right?
7:30 to 9. And I think in between there'll be a daylight saving will be coming into picture. It might shift to
Mhm.
8:30 later when the daylight saving happens.
Okay, okay. It will be Monday to Friday,
Sunday to Friday.
Sunday to Friday. Okay, Saturday will be off, right?
Yeah, for you Saturday.
Mhm. Okay, I think I'll just share that recording, please, so that
Sure.
I can go through that and then.
Yeah, yeah.
So classes are starting from tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
Okay, Monday. Okay.
Yeah. Not Monday, right? For you, it is Sunday. It is Friday evening right now.
No, no. For me, it's already half day of Saturday passed.
Which time zone you are in, man?
I'm in AEST, Australia time zone.
Oh, okay. Fine. I thought, okay, you're from US, but that's fine. It's Monday. Then it is, timings are wrong for you, right? So you can just go through for your timings. For you, it is Monday to Saturday only. And if
Mm,
you are in Australia, by the way, so it will be 4 p.m. No, this is demo, by the way. So it is 11:30 a.m. by the
11:30 a.m. Okay, yeah, yeah.
way, to 1 p.m.
11:30 to 1.
1, yeah,
So that is the only available time.
correct.
No other times, right?
Yeah,
Okay. And these sessions classes will be recorded one, right? If we suppose one day I'm not able to attend, I can go to the recording, right?
there'll be a recording, and as well as, but for Australia, I doubt actually how it can happen. Yeah, Australia also it is fine, by the way. So there is a 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. Indian time to 9 p.m. Indian time. So there is
Mm-hmm.
a lab query session also happens. So though you are not able to attend the session, you go through the recording, and if you have any questions, so still another Zoom link will be there only for queries that runs for
Okay.
8 hours. You can always join there, and you can solve your query. That is one thing. Also, while you're doing practicing, generally you get into problems and all that. Also, you
Mm.
can join there, and you can get them cleared, by the way. So that is also is a part of the training.
Okay, okay. And suppose after 3.5 months, will there be any support available
That
for
will
us?
that will be lifelong. Actually, we are not cutting down. You can always
Okay,
come back.
okay, okay. Okay, I think I'm good.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Uh, Hi, my name is Suarchula. I'm actually a beginner to the IT at the like. I'm a very beginner to IT. I just do know a few concepts of the DevOps. I was preparing in through some YouTube courses and all. But for doing this course, do I need any developing experience kind of a thing, or should I be okay?
It should be fine, by the way, because we help you in teaching those particular things. So, to come with any pre-knowledge, we'll help you in sorting out those particular things. And while, okay, so yeah, I think YouTube is also okay, but however, they'll not give you a full roadmap. That's a problem, right? So they'll always give topic by topic. Just by learning a topic, you will never become a a DevOps engineer. So that's a slight difference which will be coming, because engineer comes with a lot of mentality and the process and things like that, and that applies on the tool, and tool should help it, right? So
Yeah.
it should never be the reverse, by the way. So learning a tool, you'll not become a DevOps engineer. And also generally, like the YouTube contents, whatever you get it, they'll teach you with the Hello World project, and which I already shown you here, like how the so how the big applications are there, right? So then some of the applications that you generally see in your day-to-day life, I was mentioning. So the how big those are, right? So you take
Yes.
it up Netflix or Microsoft, I mean Netflix or Uber. These are all big microservices, and any decent project you get into, by the way, you'll see many microservices. And unless
Yes.
you know about certain extent, okay, how to deal with the things. If you're simply dealing with a hello world application, it's going to be challenging for you to do the work as well. Learning is different, and while you are applying that particular learning onto the project, there's a lot of gap will come into picture, and that gap actually we are covering with the project. So that's where you'll see a whole different way of presentation comparing with the YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I do understand that. My question was that, so if I come with a no background at all too, and this course do help me even if I don't have any kind of a
Yes.
prior knowledge of development or anything like that.
Right. Correct. As a
Yeah.
career, like I already mentioned, we teach you the things. We don't expect anything from you. I expect only one thing, which is your timing, your effort. That's it.
Sure.
Rest I'll take.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone? Any other questions? All right. So once again, thank you very much for joining. And I'm really sorry for the inconvenience happened in between. It never happened with us with the Zoom, but unfortunately it happened. Yeah, so let's meet in day after tomorrow, and we'll meet in the live session, the same timings which is mentioned there. Okay, thank you. See you in next session. Bye. Good day. Good night.